Hello and welcome to another CAD how-to video. In this video, I'm going to go over a brief summary of multi-body parts. Multi-body parts are, in essence, a way to look at multi-body parts is sort of as an assembly, but in a part file. So in multi-body parts, we're effectively going to have multiple parts, multiple logical parts contained within one part file. So what does that mean to us? So, by way of an example, I figure is the best way to talk about this. So let's go ahead and create a new part. And I'm just going to create something really fast. So I'm just going to extrude a rectangle, and I'm not even going to worry about dimensions for the sake of demonstration. So we'll just extrude by the default. Now, if I wanted to build on this, add features, I would simply, the standard procedure, click this surface to sort of build up. I'm going to extrude a boss or a base on that surface. And again, I'm not worried about dimensions, but I would add, say, a rectangle, right? I want to add some feature that's square, rectangular on top. So I would accept that sketch. Again, I'm going to accept the default extrusion depth. And I get this, right? We got one part. If I look over here in my feature manager under solid bodies, it says one. I can expand it and it's just this body. If I select it, it is this body, right? It is all one happy part. So a multi-body part can be done, and I'm going to do it by way of editing. So if I edit this feature, one thing that I haven't talked about as we extrude, as we revolve, as we create features, add these to the models, there's always a checkbox here that says merge result. And in most use cases, we want to leave that checked. Merge result will take this new extrusion, or in this case, I'm editing the one I already created, but it'll take this new extrusion and merge result will blend it in and make it one solid body like we saw. If I turn that off and accept, suddenly I don't have a flat face here anymore. There's a dividing line. Um, that's always a tell sort of a multi-body part. There's a dividing line here. These should be the same face. They're not anymore. And if I look now under solid bodies, I have two, and I can expand this, and I now have the base plate and the little rectangle that I just put on top. So why would we want to do this? Well, like I mentioned, in some cases, it can be easier, for instance, um, to model certain things that would be difficult to assemble, things that frankly don't matter if we do it as an assembly. So one thing that I've used this for in the past is to do a bearing. Let me demonstrate that real quick. So if I close this, I'm not going to save. Let's do a new part. Let's do a new part, and I'm going to, on the top plane, extrude what will end up being the inner race of a bearing. So let's do sort of a donut shape. We will give this one some dimensions. Let's give that an inch. That race, let's make that race 1/8 of an inch thick. Call that good. And I'm going to do this simply. Now, I have done this before. I've actually done this in context of 3D printing a single piece bearing. So if you have a part like a bearing, and I'm going to continue to model as I sort of talk through this, but if you have a part that's, say, a single piece for 3D printing specifically, if you want to 3D print a bearing and it's best to bring that to your 3D printing slicing software as a single part. We don't really want an assembly, right? Plus, in the case of a bearing, it doesn't really matter. I mean, assembly is great, but we don't really care where the needles are so much as far as orientation and alignment and all that good stuff. We just care that they're shown, right? When it comes to a bearing. So I've got two races, and notice, because in this case, I didn't have to merge the results. I already have two bodies over here. So this is already a multi-body part with an inner race and an outer race. It's already a multi-body part because these did not touch. So I didn't have the option to merge them. If they had touched, I could have merged them. So now on the top plane, I am going to do another extrusion for a needle, right? A needle roller. I'm going to put it here, here, and I want to go, let's see, what do we want to do? That should be an eighth of an inch in between. So I'm going to go 0.115, give some clearance. That might even be too much just looking at it. Let's go 0.12. Okay, I want some clearance. I kind of want this centered in between, So let's do a construction circle. And this again is an application that I've used many times, especially in 3D printing for multi-body parts. It doesn't require the merging thing because there's really nothing to merge. So let's do this. 0.125 divided by 2, because that was a 125. We're going to make this coincident with that circle, and we will make our circle vertical here. Vertical. Whoops, I forgot vertical. I accepted. But that's fine. We can extrude and we can always modify. So I'm going to edit, right click and edit my sketch. Edit sketch and make it vertical to the origin. It helps if you click the button when you're thinking about it. So we click that. And then just for the sake of completeness, I like some kind of a chamfer or a fillet, probably a chamfer in this case. 10 thou is probably way too big. It is, so 0.01, or 100 thou rather, I'm sorry. And we'll just chamfer both ends of this to give it a pretty appearance. And actually, notice I cannot, in this same chamfer, I was going to chamfer the races. I cannot do that because they are separate bodies. So there are good reasons to do multi-body parts. There are also reasons, or there are drawbacks. There are things we lose. And notice now that I've got the roller in there, I now have 3 solid bodies listed. So now what we need to do is we need to get more than one needle. We sort of want this roller to go all the way around. And what we need to do that, in normal circumstances, we would grab the features that we want to pattern. And I would come up here right now by default, it's on linear pattern. I would select circular. I would create this, I would select the axis as the direction, and I would just accept. I might have to change the angle and whatnot, but notice that I get an error. Only merging features may be patterned. If appropriate, make a pattern of bodies instead. So it doesn't like the fact that I grabbed features to try to create a pattern because they are not touching and they're not merged. These are 2 separate bodies. It's a multi-body part, right? That's the whole point of the video. I can't just grab features. I have to grab by default, they called the needle body chamfer 1. I can always rename that, by the way, if I right click, and there are rename tree options here. So I can rename this. Often I'll rename things. Even you can even add folders to sort of organize like features and things. And I'll do that for more complicated designs. But for now, I'm going to grab that body and I'm going to circular pattern that body. We want to get rid of features and faces here. We want to go to bodies and select that body. And now my axis 1. And notice now I get my preview. And like I said, when it comes to circular patterns and how tight you need your spacing, you can do the math, but because I'm sort of making this up on the fly, I don't think I need double. Let's do that. And let's cut down degrees between to get them a little tighter. Again, I'm just eyeballing this. I would highly recommend, if you're doing this in an actual design, that you do the math to figure out exactly degrees and how many of these things you need. So I'm going to bump up my angle because I'm seeing in a needle bearing, there's not a ton of gap, but there does need to be some. So there's gap there, but now I need to cut down my number of parts. So let's, whoops, 11 degrees, 32. That's, all right. That'll be good enough for, again, for the sake of purposes of a demo. So we'll accept that. Now I have got 34 bodies. That's a lot. If I select them all, I can combine them into a single body and just call them needles. So if I combine, add, we'll put them all together. Unable to create. Oh, I apologize. You can't actually do that. None of them are touching. You can only combine multi-body parts if they're actually touching. It helps, to sort of plan these videos ahead, which I, never do. It's kind of my thing. But we've got 34 bodies. That's actually not a huge deal. It's just every part that we created as part of that circular pattern is now a separate body. So this is a single part file now, but it is a multi-body part where we have created, all of this stuff. And again, it's sort of simpler to do it this way. My other option would be to create an inner race part, to create an outer race part, to create a needle part, and then bring them all together in an assembly file, which is okay. It's just a little overkill. I mean, again, when it comes to a bearing or something like that, where I actually don't want to save, where these are in space doesn't matter so much. And in my mind anyway, that's sort of the purpose of doing it as an assembly, is more when the actual location of these types of things matter. So hopefully that was helpful. And you can see sort of the value and some of the application to creating multi-bodied parts. So again, thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you back soon for another CAD video.